Barbara Corcoran, and I run a media company. I'm on air a lot, and I also build small businesses with the help of a lot of entrepreneurs.
I can only imagine how busy your average day is. Can you sort of describe what you would go through on a typical day, or maybe you don't have any typical days?
Now, the days are pretty typical. It took a while to create a pattern. You know, when a business starts to grow, you wind up with a better pattern. In those early days, it's simply like reckless reactionary drills to whatever comes your way or whatever you're pushing out on. But for the most part, I spend my mornings doing TV work live or doing post taping. I do God, I do a lot of media stuff. I try to jam it in the morning, quite frankly. And I do apartment tours. I revamp apartments. I do whatever I have to do do well in the media world. In the afternoon, I switch totally. I start working on all the entrepreneur businesses that I've bought on ABC Shark Tank. And I work with the entrepreneurs, and I spend a heck of a lot of time on Skype calls.
What tools, people, and resources do you have in place to help you manage your busy schedule?
Sure. Well, I have my number one power tool that no one should ever have to live without, and that is my assistant, Gail Abramson. She is well, I'm fairly organized, I have to say, but she makes me look like I'm in slow motion on organizational strength. So she totally organizes the many things coming at me and puts them in some kind of order that it feels livable and everything really works out well. On top of that, how I organize my day is I segment my day. So I know mornings for media, and there are exceptions, and the afternoon is for entrepreneurs and me working on that piece of the business. Once I leave here at 6:25, I'm home at 6:30 because I built an office right below where I live. I am totally a mom and a wife until I hit the sack at 11 o'clock, and then I wake up at 6. I never turn on my phone ever again once I leave the office, and I turn it back on at 6:30. I look at my messages, I work out, and then I slam down at the office at 8:30 all over again once the kids are out to school. Listen, it sounds kind of boring, right? It feels, you know what it feels like to me always? I feel like I'm living my life in one of those spinning doors, but why those doors avoid crashes is because they have those glass panes that separate the people going through them. And I very much compartmentalize because I gave up years ago on the concept that you could actually have balance in your life. I think it's a phantom chase if you're running after that. The best I've been able to work out is I compartmentalize.
What advice do you have for other entrepreneurs and business professionals who are looking for ways to be more productive when they're growing their businesses?
They're probably not doing two things, which I think are essential to success in business. One is prioritizing. Everybody talks about it, but I have a very easy system. When I come in the morning, I have a to-do list. I've added to-dos by texting, through email, through ideas I catch out of the air, through something that happens to be at the office. I just keep a running yellow page in my little phone, and I keep adding to it, just subject, blah, 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 running list. And then it's on a piece of paper first thing in the morning. I sit at my desk, I look at the list, and I decide what the A's are. There are very few A's in life in building anything. So the ones I really want to work on are the creative things. I love that the most. Anything that is visual, with colors, with fun stuff, like decorating a house, which I never have time to do anymore. But anything like that I love, and I would just as soon start my day with my dessert, but I don't. I start my day with the A's that I think will they result in business, which have the largest chance of resulting in bringing more business, not even executionary things, but bringing more business. Because you know what? If you get the order, you'll fill it. You'll get the work done. It's reaching out and pushing to get more business is what builds businesses. So that's what I do to control my time. And you know what? Some days I never even get to the B's. And some days, many days, I never reach the C's. And every once in a while, I could have a whole day of C's. What a thrill, you know? But that's what I do to organize myself.
Are there any tools or apps that you use on a regular basis to help you keep up with your schedule?
Yeah, three things. Obviously, Microsoft Calendar, because my calendar moves around so fast. I'm in a reactionary business. I'm never in control of my time during the workday. People are moving things, whatever. Okay, so I need that. And of course, I'm coordinating with 4 people on my team, so we all feed into the same calendar, so you must have that. The other app that I use consistently is the notebook. I mean, I find I still dearly miss writing down my to-do list, writing it down and checking it off. But I've lately kind of gotten off on being able to delete the line. It doesn't feel as good. So I use the notebook. And then, of course, I use all the music apps to grab music, whatever that one is that I have. Number one, oh, that's a great song. So I get great songs, you know, that I can listen to. But for me, that's really all I use. And there's probably a million things out there that would make my my life easier. I read about them all the time. I cut them out. I send them. Read about a magazine, cut them out. If I read about them online, I send them to the different people in the office, and they're using a ton of them. But I don't really know what they buy because I say, this sounds like it might be helpful. Use it if you want. So who knows? They might have 100, they might have none. I don't know. But I know the ones that I use are few but steady for me.